Well, now I've done it. Let's see if Paul comes up. Paul is the current president. So I have gone live. We're waiting for the Venice Club to plug in. Hello, Derek. William, nice to meet you guys. Let me get you a wrench there, Derek. I may not be able to keep up with wrenches here because my focus is going to be on the Venice Club, but it just depends on how responsive they are. I mean, if they're not asking questions or participating, then it won't much matter. We'll just do our thing. We'll just do our thing. Skilled services, Epiphyte Aquariums. Nice to meet you. We've got you. Where is it? Epiphyte. Let me see. Okay. Turn everybody blue while I'm able to. Joseph Tavir from Myrtle Beach. I love Myrtle Beach. Nice to have you with us. There's somebody with my name, but there's there's nobody. There's no camera and no. I guess there's a mic. Who's this? Nobody. They've got my name on it, which is peculiar. Well, we'll just have to wait and see if they come up. No, I think Paul doesn't know what he's doing. Maybe I need to get him on the phone and talk him through this. Well, here's somebody.
I just think they're so cool.
Oh, look at this.
Dude, I'm a sucker.
Look at this.
Through 4 weeks of calicos, greens,
They did.
golds, and other everything.
Yeah, it's a big mutt mix. Yeah.
They're looking at the auction item. I don't know if they can see us yet.
Just got the volume. Is this Mike? Sorry, well, I'm just saying I'm still.
It's got my name there. It should have the Venice Club name there.
Yeah, because I logged in through Google, so that came up with that.
He's talking.
Do I help pick it up?
Yes. Can you hear me? Is the bag, is there a
Hey, Mike.
Hello, hello.
Can you hear me?
I don't know if I can.
Oh, I know if I like to spill water or some shit. Well, no, just put them in the.
Let's see.
I'll back. Yes, that's my
Are you able to hear us?
Yeah.
What is this bottle?
Yes, our fry. Yes. Torpedo and mayonnaise. There's 3 small ones. 3 small ones, 3
Hey, Paul Lou.
They're Mike.
I've got you live. Have you got me broadcasting on the big screen?
Yeah, I'm
I
trying
have
to
all my
figure
guys'
out
numbers.
I did hear, yeah, I can hear myself in the background. If you want to go back in and start again, you've got my name, well, where it should say Venice Club.
Yeah, the problem is it's watching for YouTube, so that's how it's
Oh, you did that, that's fine. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Oh, okay. Okay. I don't think you could, yeah, I think you're probably right. I don't know if I could change it, but I don't.
$40 a year ago.
Why I can't, right?
You can't hear it.
Oh, I can, yes. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, it's the shiny
I think
kids.
we're okay. And you can see me.
Yep.
So we're good. All right. Okay. Thanks.
What does he say?
All right, we're there. We're just gonna have to wait and see. They a meeting will start in about 5 minutes. So right now we're seeing the room. They look like they've got 10, 15 people there so far. There went Paul. He's the president of the club. Just walking through. And these are new people. I don't know these people. They're looking at the auction items. Some on surface of aquarium. If it's like an oily scum, it's algae. You can take it off by either I don't know what the word is for this, skimming it. You can skim it off, or you can use a paper towel and lay it on there, and that'll kind of pull it off. There's Chris. Hi, Chris. How are you? Nice to see you.
Hi, Lou.
Hi. Good to see you. Hi, guys. Happy to be here. Nice to see you all.
Captain of the same capping.
Yes.
Captain Capper.
Well, hi there.
What's up, bro?
Yeah, I thought it was gonna have to stand.
Good to be with you all. Who is that with the beard? Who's that back? Oh my goodness. Look at this.
How you doing, bro? We miss you.
Hi, guys.
Hey Lou, we still have the lizard that I got from you in Venice.
Are you serious?
Made it,
Oh,
made it through the hurricane, and it's still all together.
Oh my word. Wow.
It's still
Nice.
lit.
Nice. Good job. This is my home club for those of you who are watching in Venice, Florida.
I need to figure out what
Got those in Ocala.
how big these grow. To
And
know
they're
what
in a
These two, these.
community room in a local development
Dragons.
these
that they're able to use because one of the board members, Chuck,
Female are yours at the low, low discounted price of only $24 net loss to myself.
he lives in that community, and they're able to get the use of the room free, which is very nice. Is that Chuck? I see Chuck. Chuck's in the white shirt back there. Hey, Chuck. Good to see you. I'm just bragging on you.
This is where you buy these and put them with the females.
And now what they're doing right now is having dinner. We serve a meal at the beginning before at 7 o'clock until 7:30. So they're all sitting down having the meal. What's on the menu, guys? What are you eating? I don't think they can hear me.
I think we can hear you. They're all shoving food in their mouth.
I know. What are they eating? What's on the menu?
Roti pasta with the sausage and broccoli and garlic and aglio.
Who made that?
Who made that? Was it Paul? Paul. Chef Paul.
Paul did. Oh, really? Paul the chef. Oh my. A multi-talented president. That's what we need. Can crawfish eat bloodworms? Scholar Bats wants to know. You betcha. And everything else as well. Crawfish love to eat. They'll eat anything that's in the tank.
That should be.
Do I have these shirts for sale? I do, Brett. I'm not sure that they're listed yet. We've had a little trouble getting our
Gotta
t-shirt
look to figure out what they are.
properly set up, but you may well find it on if you look on the website on the YouTube channel. Hello. If you look on the YouTube channel, you'll see a link for
You still gotta braid some better.
what is it called? I don't remember.
Do you know what this lamp is?
It's a link for the t-shirts, and I think it's on.
Oh,
That looks delightful. Thank you. Oh my, I want some. Ah, nice. Is lava rock a good substitute for? No, sand is the best substitute for ground.
He's still got those plants.
Lava rock is not an option.
I'm not sure. I have some of it in my tank.
Wilson, hello from Colombia. Nice to have you with us.
thank you.
Yeah.
What is your name, my dear? I don't know who that is. But what is your name?
My name is Sprout, and I met you when you owned your store over in Venice.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Sequential.
I need to make this bigger so I can see. There it is. Oh yes, I recognize it.
You got me started on the sand in my tank, and you also sold me chain swords that I still have growing.
Oh, how wonderful. That's such a nice plant. I've got some right here.
Oh yeah, I see them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you again.
You too. You
Are you
too.
enjoying the club? How long have you been active with the club?
A little over a year now, I think.
Oh, just about the time I left. You
Yeah.
came in.
Yes, I think I was here. Maybe your last meeting you were here.
Were you really? Oh my.
Yep.
Oh my. Well, I'm happy to see you. Happy to see some new faces.
And thank you for being here tonight with us. I appreciate
Thank you very much.
All right.
I see John sitting over there. Hi, John. He heard his name. John drove up. When I came to Maryland, he drove the truck that had all my stuff in it. And we did 2 overnights, I think, on the way up. It was a long trip. Is that Raoul? Who was that just walked by?
Yeah, it was.
It was me, Raoul.
Nice to see you, Raoul.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
You look good.
Thank you. Raoul is a retired physician. Specialist. So Brett Ransford just gave us $5. Thank you, Brett. We need to get that posted. There it is. Let's see if I put this here, we can get a full look at the room.
My stuff down small.
That's Chris standing right in front. What's in the auction? What looks good?
How about angelfish? Blue.
Angelfish are always good.
And guess where that,
Hey, Bill, nice to see you.
right, lots of plants this time.
What's the plan? So good. Yeah, Paul asked me if I could get plants donated for the Christmas auction. I'm going to try to do that. See if Waterscape will come through for us.
That is cool.
They should. I spent a lot of money with them. What you got there? What is? Oh, pretty. Nice. More guppies. That's the half black red, German half black red. That's my all-time favorite guppy.
Say again?
Yeah, the German half black red. I used to sell those when I was in college back in the 60s. Goodness sakes, there's wet pets.
Hey,
My competition. How is your shop doing?
Doing fine.
Wonderful.
Once you close, I just got so many customers.
I see. I was keeping you all from them. Delighted to hear it.
It's good to hear you, Lou.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm happy to see the club is perking right along. Who is that big guy under the clock? In the light blue t-shirt. All talking to him. I don't. It looks like somebody it's not.
Hey Lou, sorry, didn't hear.
It's okay. We've just been meeting and greeting. I've got about 60 people online with us, so this is a big meeting.
Okay.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
So we're live right now, right?
We're live, yes.
So I guess we should we're just do a normal meeting, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll shut up.
Okay, so if everyone could sit down, we'll just start the meeting. So for next month, being December, the last meeting of the year, that means holiday party and elections. So as of right now, I guess Valerie, secretary. I'm guessing Chuck, treasurer, Chris, vice president, and me as president, unless anyone wants to
Throw their hand.
yeah.
John moves up.
I will volunteer to be a board member.
Okay. Is there
A position?
or I mean there's plenty of other positions that we have in our bylaws that are open. If you want me to print that for next month and you want to look through it.
No, I'm happy being a board
Okay.
member. I
Mike,
been a
you
board
too?
member in two different clubs before.
Okay.
So it's not something new.
Okay. And Mike, you had your hand up? Yeah, yeah.
I was just gonna say, can I make a motion for no more rules? No more new rules. We have enough rules. How about no rules at all? Look at the raccoon. We don't want any New York, New Jersey rules down there.
Yeah, there's a raccoon next door.
I'm trying to say.
And then for the holiday party, is there a preference for food? Would we rather do potluck or kind of like we make or someone buys or makes something and then like obviously reimburse for that and then do.
I think we should all bring something and have a big feast of.
Yeah, I think potluck is.
Okay, and then do we want to do the game again like we always do?
Yeah, Santa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't want to like force anyone if they didn't, but I'll put the rules up for that online and a sign up for the potluck on Facebook. And I will also send that out via email. So all that will probably next week you'll see. So then people can start, I guess, putting on Facebook what they're gonna bring, so we don't have, 1,000 desserts and nothing else.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna complain, but, just in case. And, yeah, so then, I guess everyone's figured out, we got Lou on, StreamYard. And this is all live on his YouTube channel tonight, so. Lou, do you wanna kinda catch everyone up on what you've been up to?
Absolutely. Hi, guys. Nice to see you all. I'm sitting here in my little cottage in Salisbury, Maryland. Now, Salisbury is almost on the Delaware border. In fact, the north end of Salisbury borders Mardella or Delmar, Delaware. I'm half an hour from Ocean City, about the same distance from Assateague. Assateague is where the wild ponies are. And it's a wonderful both state and federal park, a big one that is a barrier island park running for about 25 miles on the Atlantic Ocean. So that's what I'm close to. I'm on what's called the eastern shore of Maryland. Both sides of my family, my mother's side and my father's side, both settled here within 25 miles of where I'm living right now in the 1600s, in about 1650, 1660. So my family has very deep roots here on the shore. It has always been and remains today largely rural. It's mostly farms, a lot of chicken farms, although that's fairly new. That's only been happening for not even 100 years. But there also are a lot of watermen on the shore, people who catch crabs and oysters. Those are the main crops, some clams. And there is a lobster industry. They go out into deep water in the Atlantic and catch the same lobster that lives in Maine. So that's also a market in the area. Well, I moved here to get back to Maryland and close to family. I'm 83 years old, so I thought it was time to come back home. I left a lot of friends. I was in Florida for 32 years. So I left a lot of friends in Florida. And of course had to close the business because I couldn't keep that going. That really kept me down there longer than I would have been otherwise. Probably 10 years longer. I had the shop for almost 20 years. We started the Venice Club through that shop. Dennis Richmond, who no longer lives in the area, he's up in the Carolinas, I believe. He was instrumental in starting the club. I have some pictures from that first meeting, and I have a picture from the first Christmas party that we had. I will send all that up to Paul or Chris or Chuck or one of you so that you can have those pictures. There's something that has turned up as I've been going through things, so I'll make sure you get them. What I've been doing since I've been up here is pretty much what I was doing while I was down there, playing with fish. I've been doing more on my YouTube channel and have developed a couple of things that have turned it into something really rather nice. We started a Discord channel Now that started while I was in Florida, but I really didn't have much to do with it at the beginning. It's gone through a number of changes and has reached a level now where it's just amazing what's going on there. We have 7,000 members in the Discord channel. There are people coming in all the time with problems. And the problems are based on their attempt to create a natural aquarium. And of course, that's what I'm all about now is the natural aquarium. We have people trained who have developed their own natural aquarium, their own so-called father fish aquarium. They're trained to be able to help these new people to be able to achieve what we're trying to do. So there's that going on. The YouTube channel just hit a milestone. We are at 100,000 subscribers, which is really remarkable if you know anything about YouTube. I was down in the cellar for I've been on it for 5 years, and this growth all occurred in this past year. Last time this time last year, I was at 12,000 subscribers. So it has grown by nearly 90,000 subscribers in a little under a year. Another thing we've done, and we started this in April, we started an online store. It's a Shopify store. We're using Shopify, and I'm selling plants. While I was in Florida, I got to meet and know the folks at Waterscapes, and they're wonderful people with a really excellent farm. And I've been buying from them. They, I order on a Friday. They ship on Monday. I take delivery on Tuesday, so it's overnighted to me. We pack out everything and ship out 50% or better of what we get on the same day they come in. The big item is our stem plant package. That is 15 plus one freebie, 16 different species of stem plant that are bagged in a bag and shipped out. Each bunch has 3 to 5 plants in it. So it's upwards of 60 plus plants in the bag. We sell that for $59. And we sell them like crazy. The other thing we sell a lot of is the supplement that we've invented. We developed it while we were in the store in Venice as a supplement to the dirt in the dirted deep substrate. What it does is provide a permanent long-term, those two things are mutually exclusive, but it's long-term that becomes permanent by virtue of the chelation and the cycling of the material. It's about a dozen different minerals, all of which are important in the different stages of plants' growth. And so we have those locked into the substrate so that they are available when the plant needs them. We've learned, for example, that the bacteria living in the substrate receive a signal in the form of a hormone from the plant when it needs a certain kind of nutrient. The appropriate bacteria responds to that hormone by creating the nutrient, which the plant then is able to use. So there's a symbiotic relationship between the plant and the other organic material living in the substrate. When we talk about a natural aquarium, we're talking about a living aquarium in which every aspect of the tank is alive, the water included. I am a firm proponent of the belief that water is alive, that it contains not just organics, but it contains an electronic or a molecular memory that is able to mimic the animals that are living in it. There's been research on this that is demonstrated not quite conclusively, but to the point where it's of significant interest to some researchers, demonstrating that the water maintains an electronic memory. I'm using the word electronic for lack of a better word. I'm sure there's a better word, but it maintains an ability to retain the signature of that fish such that it can be duplicated electronically. So there's something about the water that becomes increasingly harmonious with the fish and the other animals that are living in it. This speaks volumes to the issue of water changes and makes them of less importance and less significance than they have become in the trade. When you look at what happens in nature, in a pond, for example, the water does not change. Now, there is in Florida, for example, any ponds that are 6, 7, 8, 10 feet deep are in a water table that flows very, very slow, but nevertheless flow, that's bringing new water into that pond. It's doing it again extremely slowly, slow enough that if you put dye in the water, you would not see the movement. It inches along. I don't know what the rate is, but it's certainly no more than an inch a day and probably less. Water evaporates. What evaporates, however, is not the organics and not the constitution of the water, but simply H2O. Everything else that's in the water stays in the water. It evaporates and then it comes back as rain. So it's going up and it's coming back. It's not flushing the pond, not in any legitimate way. It is increasing the hardness of the water and then decreasing the hardness of the water. Now, in running water, as in a stream, that's a little different, but really it's not substantially different. Because if you measure the water at a specific location in that stream and you measure it over a period of time, it will remain relatively identical. And by relatively, I mean there may be a seasonal difference, but the difference will not be a whole bunch of new water coming in that's totally different from the old water. As that river flows, it changes as it flows, but the changes occur at a certain place and time and remain there, even though new water is coming in. It's water that has been affected on its journey and has reached a certain stasis, a certain condition that is identical as it feeds through that point. It may pick up something new, which will show itself off at the next point. So when you measure the water in a flowing river, a flowing stream, the water at any given point will be consistent and identical and unique from any other point, which makes the given location, in effect, a pond in and of itself. That means certain fauna, certain animals will thrive in certain places in that river and not thrive in other places in that river because the water will not be the same in different places. It will be the same in the same place. I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying, but the point is that water changes occur not as a function of brand new water coming into an environment, but change by virtue of the water's movement that's changing it at different locations. So the idea of doing major water changes in an aquarium is important really for only one reason. And that is because the fish keeper is polluting the tank by adding organics, by feeding perhaps extensively, by not having a natural environment that's breaking down that waste and reclaiming it and bringing it into plant life, for example, or into some other organic process. Lacking those processes, the tank becomes fouled and the water needs to be changed in order to overcome that condition. I want to stop and let you think about that for a minute because what it means is we're proposing a very unique and substantially different way of keeping fish than what has been taught for the last 50 years or so. Here's the point to it all. When a new fish keeper comes into a big box store, which is mainly where people buy their fish and equipment these days. There are very, very few shops anymore. Danny's Wet Pet is one of a precious few that need to be supported to a much greater extent than they are being supported because they are probably the most valuable resource in the hobby. The big box stores are precisely the opposite. They are hard product, dry goods merchants. Their primary focus is selling dry goods. The industry, the tropical fish industry, is primarily a dry goods industry. They're selling equipment, they're selling chemicals, they're selling light fixtures, heaters, tanks, they're selling gravel. And the reason they sell gravel is because it guarantees failure for the new fish keeper. Now, I know as well as you do that anybody who has been keeping fish for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years knows how to keep fish alive with a gravel substrate. That's not the issue. The issue is for a brand new fish keeper who knows nothing They go into a store, they buy what they are told to buy, they bring it home, they set it up, they put it all in place. They were so excited to finally have some live fish in their tank. 2 days later, the fish begin getting sick. They don't know what to do about it. They go back to the store. The store sells them medication. They bring the medication home. They medicate the tank with a huge sigh of relief. 2 days later, the fish are dying. They go back to the store. The store sells them more chemicals and replaces the dead fish. They come back, put the new fish in, put the new chemicals in. The fish continue to die. They replace them a third time. By the fourth time, they're no longer willing to replace them, and the tank goes out on the curb. This happens to 90% of the people who start fish tanks. 90%. That's what makes Danny's shop and what makes what we're doing so vitally important, because he doesn't send people out of his shop to kill fish. The big box stores do. They deliberately sell sick fish, knowing they're going to die, because it brings the customer back in the store again, which leads to more sales. It is a corrupt industry, not corrupt morally or ethically, perhaps, not corrupt legally, but certainly corrupt in the effect that it has on the spirit of the hobby and the way in which the hobby reaches into people's lives. What we're doing at Father Fish Aquarium is starting a revolution to create an aquarium that will, for the brand new fish keeper, guarantee their fish are not going to get sick and die. And we are 90% successful with that. So we have turned the tables on the industry, turned the tables on the big box stores, and are creating a customer base, more to the point, a hobby base of people who start their aquarium, are successful with it, and are able to maintain it year after year after year. 90% of the people. And we are now numbering in the thousands, perhaps in the tens of thousands of people who are doing this. We've been at it 5 years. It's taking hold. There are now another 100 brand new channels coming into YouTube, every one of which are committed to the deep substrate. Some of them love father fish. Some of them don't want anything to do with them. Doesn't matter. They're doing the same thing. They're bringing in a system that is a sustainable aquarium system that keeps fish alive and thriving. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what the channel really is all about. And the fact that we've hit 100,000 means that the story has validity. It's getting out there. People are getting on board. They're getting excited about it. We've set a goal of reaching 250,000 in the next year. We'll see. If I live that long, I'd like to see it happen. Another thing we're doing, and it really grew out of our Discord channel, it's called the Father Fish Shoal. The link is available on the YouTube channel right at the top. You'll see a place for links. Click on it. It'll take you to the shoal. The shoal is a chat format. As I mentioned, we've got about 7,000 members. There are 200 to 300 people in there at any given point in time. There are upwards of 100 channels, many of which are the personal channels of people who are showing off their own aquarium, talking about their own aquarium, sharing problems they're having with it, sharing the excitement of what they're doing with it. But other channels as well, including an entire group of people who are putting everything that we've learned together in a book format. So we're working on writing a book. We've got 4 full-time people, now 5, I think, who are working on this straight out. A couple of them are earning a little bit of money because they would not be able to do so otherwise. That money is coming out of the store that we're selling plants from, as well as coming out of the income that we're deriving from YouTube. So we're putting everything that we earn back into it in order to pay people to do more things. I have an editor who is in India, lives in central India, who is editing all of my YouTube videos and doing a stupendous job. It's just really amazing what he's been able to achieve. I pay him. He's an employee. I don't pay him what he's worth because I can't afford to. But he's also committed to doing it. And I'm committed to paying him more as we're able to earn more because he's a critical part of making that happen. He's more responsible perhaps than I am in creating interesting, fun, educational, and enjoyable videos that people are getting hooked into. I don't know if you've seen, let me see if I can do this. There's a group of videos that he's put up as shorts. Let's see, I might be able to pull this off. I've got, let's see. Are there any, if anybody's got any questions, I'm going to hold off on this. Are there any questions, observations, comments? Sun, crickets we have. Ought to show you all off there.
Stand caps changed my life.
What?
Stand caps changed my life.
Stand cap. I didn't hear what you said.
The microphone's not very good.
I'm also in the way back.
May need to get closer to it. Talking about sand caps. I heard that.
Yeah, Lou. He told me about putting a sand cap on top of my gravel, and it changed the whole dynamic of the tank when I did it. You're right. It kept all the sewerage down where the sewerage belongs and kept everything moving up top nice and good.
Well, that's the whole idea. That's right. And when the plant roots eventually get down in there and are able to use all that material in order to grow, that's what cycles. That's what the cycling is. And that takes a long time. That doesn't happen quickly. That happens over a period of years. But it does happen. This tank that I've got here alongside me is 22 years old. I had this tank in the shop. It was in the front room. I got it from a guy who had it set up about 5 years. I got it early on in the life of the shop, kept it the whole time, brought it up to Maryland without disturbing the substrate, just lowered the water, brought some of the water with me, and set it back up. So this has been set up for 22 years. It has right now about 70 fish in it. It's a 30-gallon long, 4 foot long. And as you can see, is full of plants. I just went through pulling out all of the Vallisneria and replacing them with Anubias and stem plants and some other kind of higher order plants. And it turns out the Vallisneria was doing such a good job that I'm now getting some green. So I've had to add duckweed and sylvania to the surface in order to reduce the light that gets into the water column until we can get it better balanced.
Since that conversation we had, I don't know if you remember giving me a bag of sand here at the Venice meeting. And I went home and I capped that one tank that I was dealing with. And then I started putting soil bases and sand caps in like every new tank that I set up. And all my plants went insane. All my fish are very happy. So even like a ½ inch of potting soil with 2 inches of pool sand on top of it grows plants fantastic. And it keeps the water clean because all the poo gets flushed out. It doesn't go down and get stuck in the cracks. There are no cracks.
Well, and that's the difference between gravel and sand too. In gravel, the all of the waste goes down into it, but the water's flowing through it, and so it's washing it right back out again, which means that the water is essentially the same consistency as the muck in the tank. So it's got too many organics in it, and you can never keep up with that. With sand, that doesn't happen. It gets far enough down in the sand that it does not come back up. It stays down in there and gets converted, gets broken down by all of the microbiology, the bacteria and the fungus and so forth, and recycled through the plant roots and through the natural organic activity that's occurring in there, which gives you a fully cycling tank.
That's where I was going with it, because you told me about that. You told me it would happen, and I was like, "Wow!" You said you'll see it. You said that the little critters will carry stuff up and down. I have one that's just sand. When I broke it down, the bottom of that sand layer is black. Like there's a bunch. The stuff got moved down.
Right, and it's anaerobic.
Yes.
There was some recent research that discovered in a pond environment where there's not flowing water, in a pond environment that has silt, it's built on silt, doesn't have a sand base the way a creek does. It has a silt base, a mud base. When you get below 1/4 of an inch in that mud, it is anaerobic.
Really?
1/4 of an inch is anaerobic in a pond. That's comparable to an aquarium where there is not flowing water.
Which of
So,
is the
now, here's what happens though. The plants need and bacteria needs oxygen in order to be able to do its job. It derives that oxygen from the organics that are sifting down into the bottom. So when it breaks down a plant or plant material, it extracts the oxygen from that, molecularly extracts it in order to use that oxygen. It then creates CO2, which floats up, rises up into the into the water column and out of the tank. But it's able then to use oxygen in an anaerobic environment by extracting it. This is the thing. The term anoxic, which is used to describe this environment, is a term that is pretty consistently misused. It's a term that was developed by geologists to describe an environment like outer space that lacks all oxygen in all forms. Obviously, water is never anaerobic. Anaerobic is a condition. I said that wrong. Let me back up. I said it wrong. The geologist says an environment like outer space is anaerobic because it has no oxygen in any form. An environment that has water, for example, or a compound with oxygen locked in, they refer to as anoxic. The term is used in biology in a completely different way because in biology, there is no such thing as an anaerobic environment. All biological environments have oxygen in them. So they're not purely lacking oxygen. There are some people in the field that use the term anoxic to describe a low level of free oxygen in a deep substrate, which is different from its meaning and use in the science that developed the terminology in geology. So I don't use the term because it's confusing. I use the term aerobic in the same way that biology uses the term aerobic and anaerobic to mean a condition in which oxygen exists and in which free oxygen does not exist. Free oxygen does not exist in a pond a quarter of an inch below the surface of the substrate. In point of fact, free oxygen, as you get deeper in water, gets lower and lower and lower to the point where it is virtually non existent in deep water. You don't find free oxygen there. I don't know why I got off on that, but I usually get off. Need, need to shift gears here. Back into another gear. Is there another comment or question? Let's see what's on. Let's see. Oscar Jungle Tanks is saying, my father fish style tank has thousands of tiny little black bugs in the sand. Tiny little black bugs in the sand. Well, he has a microfauna, probably macrofauna. If he can see them, that's a macrofauna. Microfauna are too tiny to see with the naked eye. You can see a swarm of paramecium, but you cannot see a single paramecium. But a tiny little baby Daphnia you can see, and that's probably, he either has Daphnia or some other similar macrofauna that is larger than microscopic, tiny little animal living in his sand that is doing a job down there. It's probably chewing up the material that falls into it, like dead leaves and so forth. These are the chompers, the chewers that break things down, and then smaller animals break it down even further. And it keeps getting broken down as it precipitates down into the sand bed. So what he's got is an environment where on the surface of the sand, there's a population of animals living there that are performing a very specific task in the cycling of everything of the waste through that substrate. Good job, Oscar. That's Oscar Jungle Tanks. Let's see. GG is saying, "Thank you, Fatherfish. I'm from Guatemala, Latin America. You helped me to do the low maintenance aquarium. Even my family thought this doesn't work. And now it looks amazing and the plants are all growing." And that's a fairly common experience. When you put, I'm fond of saying that I sell dirt. That's my business. I sell dirt. And I sell dirt to people who have aquariums. And 90% of the people who know anything or think they do about aquariums say, well, why in the world would you put dirt in an aquarium? We're trying to keep dirt out of the aquarium. Well, what they're not understanding is that a natural environment is based on soil. Every single natural aquatic environment, whether fresh or saltwater, is based on soil. Research done in coral reefs determined that the health of the coral reef is a function of the health of the substrate below it. If that substrate is healthy, then the coral is healthy. If the substrate is sick, then the coral is sick. And the same thing is true in an aquarium, in a pond, in a creek, or a river. If the substrate is healthy, the fish are going to be healthy. If the substrate is sick, if it's polluted, if it's fouled, then the fish are going to be sick. And they're going to be responding to a fouled environment. So no longer do we need to maintain our aquariums in a condition of pending crisis, where we absolutely have got to do a water change, because if we don't, everything is going to be dead. We don't need to maintain our aquariums that way. They can be maintained as a balanced system. It takes a little different kind of thinking and a different practice, but it is practical, it is simple, and once you've done it, it is completely persuasive because it works if you do it right 100% of the time. If you mess it up, it'll work 90% of the time. All right, where are we? We're at 8:20. We're just about an hour in.
He says he'll say 2 inches.
Huh?
He'll say 2 inches
2 inches is,
dirt.
Yeah, the formula. Let me go through the formula. The dirt is comprised of 4 items. Number 1, it's 50% some kind of humic material. Now, I use peat moss because peat moss is still available in the US. It's not in Europe and it's not in Canada. And I get my butt chewed off sometimes for being unethical and using peat moss because it's depleting the peat bogs. Well, some people think so and other people don't. Nevertheless, you don't have to use peat moss. You can use coir, COIR, that's coconut fiber. You can use ground up leaves, not green leaves, the leaves that fall from the trees this time of the year. It's very important, if you're going to use leaves, not to pick them off the tree and dry them, because they will contain all of the sugars that the tree removes from the leaf when it kills it to fall to the ground. Those sugars will foul the water. It's too much organic material. And it makes it very simple then to foul the water if you put a bunch of dried green leaves in your tank. So don't do that. So any kind of humic material, that's 50% of the soil layer. 25% is some kind of compost. Any kind of compost at all. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be pond muck. It can be cow. It can be black cow. It can be compost from your composter. Any kind of composted material. So it's organic that's broken down. The third item is soil. All of this happens in soil. The third item is 25%. So we've got 50% humus, 25% soil, 25% organics, and then 10% father fish supplement. And the supplement is about 15 different minerals, any one of which could not exist in the mix you have, any one of which could be quickly depleted. What this does is bring those minerals into the material such that they will be there as needed. They may sit there for a year, 2 years, 3 years before they're called for, but they will be there. The reason for this is really very simple. You can't go back in and add them. You can put fertilizer in the water, but that's in the water. And fertilizer is a problem anyway because it screws with the hormonal activity that the plant is engaged in. It provides a certain mineral at a certain point in time that may or may not be required by the plant. Fertilizers are not a healthy way to raise plants. They may create a growth spurt in the stem, for example, or in the leaves, but not in the roots and not in the flower. Those take different kinds of nutrients in order for the growth of those elements of the plant to occur. The plant knows what it needs. It signals into the substrate for what it needs, and if it's there to be provided, it'll be provided. If it's not, then it's not going to be successful in that environment. So that's why we do that. Another element that we put in that substrate is buffers. And we've got a number of different buffers. Lime is one. Bone meal is another. Sodium bicarbonate is another. A fourth one is diatomaceous earth. All of which prevent the substrate from becoming acidic. If it becomes acidic, it becomes deadly. So we want to absolutely prevent the substrate from becoming acidic. It has a tendency to do that by virtue of all the organic material that's being ground up. So a very strong buffer is needed in that substrate in order to prevent it from going in that direction. And there's enough buffer in the material in the supplement, in addition to whatever is put in there, in order to prevent that from happening permanently. All of these elements will, as they become part of the plant life, or part of the bacteria life, or part of the life of the other microorganisms in that soil, will be converted as those elements die and be returned to the soil in a life cycle. So it all cycles. It cycles as an environment. So what you're creating is a natural environment that cycles all of the elements of that environment in a way that makes it possible for it to sustain itself virtually indefinitely. There is a minor caveat. I find that it makes me feel better if I do a 10% water change in my tank 2 or 3 times a year. Whether I really need to do that or not, I'm not at all certain. But I do it because it gives me a comfort level. That's how much I have not yet, even myself, escaped from the tyranny of the water change policy that I was taught as a child, or not as a child, as a teenager and as a young man. As a child, I followed Ennis. Ennis doesn't talk about water changes. Ennis talks about stable environments, and it creates stable environments. So the roots to my hobby, which are in Ennis, are 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 founded in this system that I'm developing now. Now, once the soil is put together, put water in it, create a mud, let it sit for a day. Of that material, you want no more than 1 inch in a tank less than 55 gallons. If it's bigger than 55 gallons, you can add another half inch up to 100 gallons. At 100 gallons plus, you can go to 2 inches. In my 200-gallon tanks, I never went beyond 2 inches. However, it's very important to have double the amount of sand as there is soil. So in your tank, less than a 55-gallon tank, 1 inch of the soil mixture, 2 inches of sand. And the reason for this is the soil is going to rise up in the sand, but it'll only come up as deep as it is. In other words, it'll come up about 1 inch into the sand. So if you've got 2 inches, it's not going to escape into the water column. It'll still be in the sand bed. And as it does rise up, the plant roots will be able to use that as nutrients. In the beginning, when you first set this tank up, the organics are extremely active. You got a lot of bubbling, a lot of gas, a lot of chelation going on. If the roots of the plants are planted down into the dirt, they will burn. It will kill the plants. So you never plant below 1 inch. Let the root find the nutrition. Don't introduce it directly. Roots are really good at finding nutrition. So you don't need to push them all the way down in there. If you do in a brand new tank, the plant's going to die. And that won't be 90% of the time. That'll be 100% of the time. There's a process called chelation that occurs. Chelation is simply what happens when minerals or compounds are put together that are active. They are active with each other or reactive with each other. And the longer they're reactive, the less reactive they are, and the more stable they become. Eventually, they become chelated. They become no longer active with each other. That's what happens in that deep substrate. You got elements in there, chemicals in there that are in process of chelation. That takes a few months to complete. It can take as long as 5 months. Usually it's 2 to 3 months. So you're going to have gas bubbles coming off. The gas is CO2 and nitrogen. Nothing that's dangerous, nothing that's going to create a problem at all. You got buffers in there that are preventing it from becoming acidic. It's not going to be toxic. And that's it. You set it up, put the dirt in very carefully so you don't stir up the sand. Critical that the dirt does not stir it up when you're putting it in. Put a dish or a bowl or a plastic bag over it, put the water in. When it's full, do it in, and then to the top, take it out. Immediately plant plants. Same day. The next day, day 2, put a few fish in the tank. The tank will already be in process of, balancing ammonia to nitrates. The nitrogen cycle will already be in place. It'll already be occurring. The plants will be absorbing ammonia as it's created. Now, clearly, you don't want to feed heavily in the first week or two. When I put a few fish in there, I do not put food in there. I don't put food in for the first week. None of any kind. They will be picking away on the plants, on whatever's on the bottom. The fish will find food. And if you don't believe me, watch them pooping in that week you're not feeding. They will be pooping. And the only way they can poop is if they're eating. Ugh. So then begin feeding every week. Add a few more fish. You want 50 to 75% of the tank in plants, not 1 or 2 plants, 10 or 20 or 30 or 40. You want a lot of plants, not a couple of plants. Don't put a plant here and a plant there and one in the middle and be satisfied. That's not adequate. You need it heavily planted from the beginning. The best kind of plants to put in there are stem plants, Vallisneria, chain swords, those kinds of things that are fast growing plants, Anacharis, which is a stem plant, things that are going to grow quickly, take hold, and begin cycling immediately. They'll be taking ammonia out of the water instantly. Plants remove ammonia directly. If you have plants in there, you may test for ammonia, but you don't need to worry about it because the plants are controlling. And that's how you set the tank up. I do lighting 24/7 for the first at least 2 weeks, if not a month, in order to give the plants a real head start and in order to make sure that all the organics in there are able to do whatever photosynthesis they need to do and gain the benefit of the light cycle in that first couple of weeks. After that, you can back up on it. If you start getting algae, put more plants in. If you get algae, it means you don't have enough plants because plants take nutrients out of the water before algae does. All righty. Thank you, guys. Really delightful to be here. Thank you so much. Wonderful to be with you.
Thanks.
I miss you all.
Thanks, Lou.
Hey, Lou. Hey, Lou.
Yeah.
Frank was showing me how to do the ice cube tray after the whole tank was set up.
Yeah.
Insert some of those potting soil or whatever you have down inside. sort of late in the game, you know, but you can still do it if you use the ice
That's
cube.
right. It does. Now, I've never done it, but I have a number of people who have done it, and it works pretty successfully. There's a little trick. If you'll do small ice cubes and then put them in bigger ice cubes, when you put it in the tank, you won't be getting it melting and leaving dirt.
Right.
You'll be getting it down in there before the dirt starts to melt out. So just a little added trick to be able to do that. But by doing that, you can actually get soil down in the sand without it getting mixed up in the water. It's a pretty cool trick.
Lou, you can
Yeah.
you can do the same thing with fertilizer.
Right.
Fertilizer right in
Yeah.
the root.
Right. I don't recommend fertilizer, but you certainly can. That's right.
What do you mean, like potting soil?
Well, like Osmocote. Osmocote's about the only fertilizer I really believe in
Yeah.
because it's purely organic.
Yeah, I would go to little capsules.
And it's slow release.
But we're better off with your mixture, it sounds like.
Well, I think so. You know, one of the things I've discovered is that nobody else in the industry is selling anything comparable to it. So I'm getting more and more sales of it because nobody else has got anything like it or anything that could even make the same claim. So I may wind up having a product that ultimately that can be a very successful and popular product. That would be nice.
We're gonna knock it off right now.
So
Just like the Chinese.
we're gonna take like 10 minutes and then start the auction.
Okay.
Thank you.
So this is just a con though.
Thanks a lot, Lou.
Bye, guy. Paul, leave the camera on.
Yeah.
I've got myself off. Let the folks in the background hear.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put the camera more down towards the table of stuff.
Good. And you can cut my mic off if you want.
Move second.
The question is if I want to throw a bunch of cards.
All right. He did cut my mic off. So I'm assuming you guys can hear me. I can't hear him, which is fine because.
I think you have to do it.
Go up the video. If you go up,
Pardon?
We can email the StreamYard if the stream.
It's got me back on. Off and on, off and on. Epiphyte, buy Epiphyte. Paul, leave the mic on so we can hear the bidding.
The feeders.
Yeah, leave the mic on so we can hear the bidding.
It's on. Though. I live in Salt Water.
A lot of plants.
Those would be cool in Brackish, you know? Yeah.
Sail fins are easy to get.
Yeah, you get those everywhere.
Pink rose ones.
Yeah, there's a more. Yep. Yeah, they're super cool. Black Mollies? Down here. Oh, I thought you were looking for them.
Sorry.
No, you're looking for them, and they're down there. Yeah, they're really cool. I think there's 2 bags of those if you check. There's one here, there's one down the other road.
What's from?
What are these?
I don't know.
Balls.
I was asking you.
No, I don't know what they are.
Must be free.
Yes.
Go to a company that supplies, commercially supplies.
It's actually a really great piece of wood. The whole jump was all.
So. Septic, probably a month or so. I was down in South bought a box of 500.
When do you want my,
They're gonna get big, they're gonna be more.
Yeah, there's
The Amazon sellers are growing out. So they want to go out. Once they do that, they change their leadership.
You're gonna come to visit Andre anytime before the new year. Fill a couple buckets.
Paul, can you raise the camera so we can see the people? Thank you.
These different asbestos and I can't remember that, but they do stay small. Like these are the pygmies, right? See, I always remember the pygmies that I got from here. They were. They don't have the line on them. They didn't look like that.
All right, I think we're gonna shut this down, guys.
So they're
That's a pygmy, that's the biggest one I've ever seen.
okay. All right. So I'm not as goofy as I thought I was.
They'd sell better if they came in alive.
Hey, Lou. There he is.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Very, very.
Dennis, right. Nice to see you, Dennis.
You too. Watched lots of your videos lately. Great video on your biography.
Oh, thank you.
Very good. Very interesting.
Thank you.
Nellie says hi too.
Thank you, Lou.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, those stuff that you made. Yeah.
There he is. So who's doing the auction?
Yeah, we're gonna start in a minute.
Are you the auctioneer, Paul?
No, Michael is.
Michael.
Yeah, I handle the money.
Ah. I don't see Val. Is Val there?
Yeah, in the corner.
Oh, there she is. Hi, Val. Nice to see you.
That would be good.
So they drove the whole trail, then they just drove.
I do want to. I do want to catch some of the auction.
What do you have for weather up there right now, Lou? We got kind of dreary, drizzly, and 71 tonight in the Comas.
Well, it's cold. It's been getting down in the 30s at night.
Fall color's still there, kind of on the downside.
Yeah, it was 52 today. It got warm. It was 52.
Still have your fall colors?
My what?
Still have your fall colors? Is that pretty on the downslope?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not over yet.
Well, we hope you have a good Thanksgiving. I'm sure we'll see you before Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you. I've been collecting leaves all fall.
Uh-huh.
I sell leaves too.
What's on that?
We had a great early September. Nellie and I, we went up there on an Alaskan cruise. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it is pretty right now. We're right at the middle of it. Hey, Raul. Thank you for the bettas. Very nice. I appreciate them.
You're welcome.
They're very pretty. Yeah, I got a couple spawning.
Oh, great. Which one?
The red ones.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty fish. Really pretty fish.
Super red.
Yeah, Andy sent them up to me.
I don't remember what I gotta pay attention, so I'm writing down what
Yes, I know he is.
I
Yeah.
don't get something I can't
He's
use.
moving into a new house, so he's gonna get his fish room back.
Checking all these to find out which ones were what and how big they get.
What is that plant on the table that looks like a fan?
Which direction?
No, on the table. The auction item. The auction item.
That looks like a fan?
It looks like a fan. Is there a plant? Maybe I don't know what I was looking at. Yeah, right in front of the camera.
It's a,
No, not that.
Right over here.
yeah.
No, the aquatic plants.
Oh, the other one.
Yeah, the aquatic plant. Looks like it's kind of.
This one?
No, I don't know. Maybe I didn't know what I was looking at.
It could be the tablecloth.
That's what it was.
Tablecloth.
I was real excited about that.
Take them out.
Pretty dark.
I'm gonna buy that tablecloth, Dennis.
With your magic formula, this grew overnight. Look.
Isn't that gorgeous?
I'm familiar with SRQ, so I'm familiar with.
So your bag is $59.99 with your 12 ounce.
Really? Really?
Wait from there.
See that? How are you doing, Chris?
I'm doing good.
What are you breeding right now?
Not much. I've been doing house stuff, doing
Oh, yeah?
remodel. Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
I haven't been breeding fish. It's either lots of water changes and raising baby fish,
Yeah.
or it's laying tile and making my 75 house look a little more modern.
Oh, no kidding. Good for you.
So, yeah, it's just one of those slow years on the fish front.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm not selling fish yet. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna. I think if I do, it'll be natives.
Yeah, there's lots of nice ones, especially little pygmy, sunfish.
Yeah, the sunfish, the Formosa, the killies, the blue line killies. The ones that the fundulus is a pretty fish.
Yep. So we're gonna start the auction.
Oh, good.
Where did Michael go?
Nice to talk to you, Chris.
You were just here a minute ago.
Who's that what?
You want a cupcake, Lou?
He's Mike, yeah.
I'd love it. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Eat it for me.
Okay.
Can we get the auctioneer in front of the camera?
Sir, yes, sir.
You running?
I'll do my little feet running, you know.
They make me do all this stuff.
We don't make you do anything.
All right.
Sometimes there's puppets involved.
Uh,
Okay, this is the official start dance. This means that it's time to get started.
Shut up.
We got to get everybody inside and ready with their dollars. Everybody get your dollars out.
Hey, as you auction, so if you win, I'm coming for you, and I'm gonna shake you down. So make sure you got your money out. So, as per the board's order.
Yeah,
I'm the muscle. They're behind you.
yeah, you're the money bouncer.
Oh, you can go.
I don't know. I don't hear from you anymore. What is that?
Yeah. So just we're just treating like we're like block things, whatever.
Okay.
So it's just block 102.
Yeah.
Okay.
So ignore the name.
Who's that?
Yeah, 102.
No, I didn't number that. You didn't sign up, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, what's your name?
I did it right? Yeah. Okay. I should be trying to do it wrong.
You know, I did some of them.
You start a donation if you want. Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, we got a donation to the club here. There's seven black mollies. Some of them are all black. Some of them are not all black, but this is one of them salt and pepper in there. So we got a donation to the club, 6 black, 1 salt and pepper molly. Show me $2. $2 in the front. Can I get 3? $2 in the front. Once, twice, sold to the gentleman for $2.
Yay. I keep the change next time. Yeah, exactly.
This is another donation to the club, and that is not Val Scenario. What is that?
I think it's just a mix of plants.
This is a mixture bag of plants.
Tobacco plants.
Bago plants. There's a stem plant in there with these. What is this?
It's beautiful and you all want it. That's what it is.
The one I should not mention.
Oh.
Oh, there's a very special plant in here that you should have in your aquarium and only in your aquarium.
It's really pretty.
Start the bidding at $1. Can I get $1 in the front? Got $1 in the front. Can I hear $2? $1 going once, twice. Sold to the gentleman for $1.
Thank you.
All right.
Tell us what the plant was.
Well, it's a secret plant.
It's food for the Molly. Make sure they got some.
Cryptocornia Wendiki.
Cryptocorini.
Cryptocorini from the northern side of Italy.
Crypto bro.
And it comes with a free assassin snail. $7 minimum on the Cryptocorini with the assassin snail. Can I get $7 for the Cryptocorini with the assassin?
It's an easy plant to grow. It likes low to medium light.
Spreads out, looks beautiful, red and green.
It is a great plant. Very healthy plant, by the way.
If
Looks
you're new to
fantastic.
live plants, this is a good one to start with.
Comes
Easy
with-
to keep, hard to kill.
Comes with some rock wool, comes with an assassin snail.
Snails worth more than the plant.
Yeah.
Nah, about the same.
Maybe like $6.
So $7 for an assassin snail and a Cryptocorini is a great deal, says the man in the front. Raise your hand, $7, sir. All right, show me.
Oh, bag number 94. I'm just gonna put them down here so that way they're done. That way, yeah, that way you know it's careful.
Well, same thing. Spiralis, Cryptocorini spiralis, $7. Any takers on it? Bag 99, back on the table. Bag 95, red
Wendy.
Red Wenty, Cryptocorini Wenty. This one
Also a great plant.
does not come with a free assassin snail. You missed that, $7.
Nice dark green plant too.
Absolutely beautiful plant.
Yeah.
Who brought those in?
Carlos.
Carlos, you want to take less than 7 on them? Negative, they're going home.
I'll take the red one for 7.
With or without the free assassin snail?
No assassin snail.
No assassin snail? You could sell the assassin snail and make some of your money back.
Wait, you want to buy an assassin snail?
Yeah, why don't you buy the sale assassin?
Wait, so you wanted the one Daddy for 7 around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sprout, you can take your pick. There's 3 of them.
95 sold.
They're, yeah, they're.
Yeah, they're all different.
They are different.
Yeah, they're different.
This is water spray.
Yes, finally.
Chop this up, put it in.
If you grow it immersed, it gets like 2 or 3 feet tall.
I get away from the father fish.
It grew in someone's pond this pond.
Fine leaf water spray, bag 93, fine leaf water spray. Big old bag, fine leaf water spray.
What's the Latin name?
I'm sorry?
What's the Latin?
I do not know the Latin name, sir.
Rockfish or something like that.
Abundus plantus.
Yes.
Grow as much as.
Yeah, grow as much as exactly.
Ammonius, Cometus ammonius. Cometus ammonius. Cometus ammonius es bueno. Para hacer, pues. ¿Quiere comprar, señor? Ok, entonces. No? Okay.
Might be German, I don't know.
Bag 93, can I get $1 on the dollar over there? Can I get 2? $1 going once, twice, sold to the gentleman for $1. Bag 93.
All right, it's carrots.
You can bring back bags every week.
Electroides.
Say it again.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it? Something that.
Carrot popper is because it's a fern. And it's Electroides.
See, I was close. I was close.
What's that one?
Valentines. Crypt parva. This is Cryptocorini parva.
This one's harder to keep than the others, but it's nice. It's a carpeting plant.
Carpeting plant. $7 minimum on the carpeting Cryptocorini. $7 right here, going once, twice, sold to the gentleman.
That was a quick.
Bag 98. Good call, Doc.
These are like really healthy.
Bag 96. Brazil sword. Spathiphyllum tasson. Brazil sword, $7 minimum. Beautiful leaves on it. We've got 7 beautiful leaves. I'm sorry, it's
That's a piece though.
a Spathiphyllum tasson.
Swords are kind of yours.
It says Brazil
Yeah,
sword.
it just says Brazil sword and then has the.
Spathiphyllum tasson. You should buy it. $7.
Actually, you should buy it for $10.
That's a piece lily, I'm pretty sure. Or very
Ooh,
small.
so can you be grown above water? That's, again, I want to bank your money. What? All right, we're gonna get back to
Come back
that.
to that. Bag 100's the Undulata. Cryptocarini Undulata. It's a true aquatic foreground plant, moderate light, $7 minimum. Beautiful red and green leaves. Anyone down? $7?
You're down.
One spice?
90. You got it.
That's bag 100.
Bag 100's back on the table. Bag 97 is the. Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa. Brace yourselves, guys.
Echinodorius Atlantisberg. Echinodorius Atlantisberg. Look at the leaves on this guy. Bag 97, $7 minimum. Who's down? Show me $7 in the bag.
Highlight or low light according to this great sheet we have right here.
Moderate to strong light.
Yeah, so peace lily.
Peace lily.
Yep, that is the scientific name of peace lily. It's not the phylum, it's the genus.
You all learned something new today. That's good.
Anybody down with a peace lily?
I only knew the genus for that reason.
Okay.
What bag was that one?
97. That's 90.
96.
It's 96, yeah.
This is bag 101. It's a red flame sword. Ooh, look at the red leaves on this guy. Look at the red leaves on that bag 101. $7 minimum on the bag. Anybody down? $7 over there. Here, eat. $7 going once, twice. Sold to the gentleman. $7. Bag 102. You get both dwarf sedge and jungle val.
Got a big bag.
And a great big bag you could use for big fish in the future. That's correct. Seller told me to ixnay on his minimum on this. So we're going to open up bidding at $2 on the jungle val and dwarf sag. $2 and you get $2. $2 on the plants. $2 in the front. $2 going one spice. Sold to gentlemen for $2.90.
Whatever the 7 minus that is. I'll let you.
Bag 106, baby tears. Carpeting plant. Spreads out nice and slow and low. Show me $1.
How did it get its name?
I don't know, sir. $1 in the front. Can I get $2? $1 going once, twice. Sold to the gentleman for $1.
106.
106 sold for $1.
Thank you.
Here's $1. Bag 91. Bag 91, Blue Marble Angels. Seller number 4. There are 3 of them in the bag. Blue Marble Angels. Show me $3 on the Blue Marbles. $3 on the Angels. Is that a scratching? That's a vote. That's you bidding? You bidding or scratching? Scratching's bidding. Rubbing's racing. So.
Scratch more than twice.
And you're enjoying it.
You were on live stream, my good friend. There are children watching.
It's fine. They itch too, you know. They scratch your ear, you know. Oh, I put it back.
Yeah, watch yourself there. Watch.
$3. Show me $3 in the Angels. Come on, Jeff. You know you want to take these home, put them in the fish tank for $3.
What are they called?
Blue Marble Angels. Blue Marble Angels. You get $3 a fish.
Blue.
You could take them to Tom and flip them for $2. Come on. $3. 3. Okay. $3 right there. One twice sold to the gentleman. Good deal.
There's
Love
2
it.
bags.
Oh, so there are 2 bags. You want the both or one or this one? Okay.
All right. I don't see the other ones.
There's another bag.
There's Lowell. Come
Hey
through.
guys, I gotta go.
We love you, Lou.
Bye, Lou.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Lou. Bag 105, red root floaters. One bag of red root floaters with some water, no free snails.